Hi everyone. All right, we are doing 10.2 and 10.3 today. And both these lessons are all about picture graphs. And picture graphs are basically just what you would expect them to be. They are graphs that use pictures to show the data. And picture graphs are really fun and they're really easy to look at. So here is an example of a picture graph. Again, a picture graph uses pictures to show data. And if you remember, data is a collection of information. So this graph is showing us the number of soccer games. The number of soccer games in March, in April, in May, and in June. Now, down here at the bottom, you see this thing called a key. A key tells how many each picture stands for. So this one's really easy because it's saying just one soccer ball equals one game. So, but sometimes in pictures or in picture graphs, they might have the picture standing for multiple ones, like 2 or 5. So you got to pay attention to those keys because sometimes they have different amounts for the pictures. So in this graph, we can gather that the most soccer games were in June because there's more soccer balls in June than any other month. And in April, only has 3 soccer balls, so that means there's only 3 soccer games in the month of April. So in this lesson, we're going to be looking at picture graphs and what data we can get from it. So on this chart, or this graph, it is going to tell us our favorite snack. I don't know if you guys have noticed in our last lesson and this lesson, there's always a title for these graphs or charts because we need to know what it's telling us. If this title wasn't here, we would have we could probably figure it out, but we really wouldn't know what the graph is for. So you will notice in every graph there's almost always a title telling us what the graph is for. So in this graph, we can see this is telling us how many pretzels, how many grapes, how many popcorn, how many apples. And down here, the key tells us that each smiley face stands for one child. So each of these smiley faces in this stands for one child. So we can see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 kids like pretzels the best. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 kids like grapes the best. 3 kids like popcorn the best. And 6 kids like apples the best. So the first question asks, which snack was chosen by the fewest children? Now the word fewest still gets us. Remember that fewest means the smallest amount or the least amount. So which snack had the least amount of children vote for it? And we can see, even if we didn't have these numbers over here, we can see that there are fewer pictures for popcorn than there is for any other snack. So we know popcorn is the snack that was chosen the least amount. Number 2 says, how many more children chose apples? How many more children chose pretzels than apples? Well, we know 8 people voted for pretzels and 6 people voted for apples. And we know if it says how many more, we need to subtract. And 8 minus 6 equals 2. So 2 more children like pretzels than apples. Here is another picture chart. And in this picture chart, it is about the number of pencils. So again, it's showing us pictures for each kid. And the key tells us each pencil, so each one of these pictures stands for 1 pencil. So that means Elena has 3 pencils. Kiana has 5 pencils. Dante has 4 pencils. And Brad has 8 pencils. So our first question is how many pretzels. How many pencils do Elena and Brad have? Well, that means we need to add those 2 together. So we are going to look at Elena's amount and Brad's amount and add those 2 numbers together. So Elena has 3 pencils. Brad has 8 pencils. So we need to do 8 plus 3, which equals 11. So Elena and Brad have 11 pencils. How many more pencils does Kiana have than Elena has? So we've seen this a lot. How many more? We gotta subtract. How many more pencils does Kiana have than Elena? So Kiana has 5. Elena only has 3. So we got to figure out what's 5 minus 3. 2. So it's 2 more pencils. Mrs. Green has the same number of pencils as the 4 children. How many pencils does she have? So Mrs. Green has the same number of pencils as all 4 kids. That means we got to add all 4 numbers together, all of these together. So first I'm going to do 3 plus 5, which is 8. 4 plus 8 is 12. And then I'm going to add 8 plus 12, which is 20. So the answer is 20 pencils. Mrs. Green has 20 pencils. All right, here's another picture graph of favorite balloon color. So we have green, blue, red, purple. So the key is telling us each balloon. So each balloon in these pictures stands for 1 child. So 4 kids voted for green as their favorite. I'm going to get a darker color. For green as their favorite. 5 people chose blue as their favorite balloon color. 7 kids chose red as their favorite balloon color. And 4 kids chose purple as their favorite balloon color. So our question is, which 3 colors were chosen by a total of 13 children? So what we need to figure out is 3 of these colors added together equal 13. So we got to figure out which 3 of these colors equal a total of 13. So what I could do, this is just going to be kind of like a trial and error type thing. So first thing I'm going to do is count up green, blue, and red together. Those 3 colors might be it. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So those 3 colors together equal 16 children. So I know it's not going to be a combination of those 3. So this one I'm going to do green, blue, and purple. So I'm going to skip red. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So that means green, blue, and purple. The 3 kids that voted, or I'm sorry, not the 3 kids. The kids that voted for purple, blue, or green equal or add up to a total of 13 children. So that's my answer. Which 3 colors? It was green, blue, and purple. Right, so now we are going to start making picture graphs. So we're just looking at picture graphs and answering questions about them, but now we're going to make the picture graphs. So this is kind of an example, or a start of an example. This says each picture in the graph stands for 1 flower. Draw pictures to show the data in the tally chart. So what they want us to do, they want us to look at this tally chart and transfer this information into a picture chart. So you can see they've already moved Jesse's over. They've already transferred that information. There's 3 tallies here, and there's 3 pictures here. And this key down here tells us each blue oval stands for 1 flower. So Inez picked 5 flowers and Paulo picked 4 flowers. So what this wants us to do is finish the picture graph. So if Inez has 5 tallies over here, that means I need to draw 5 pictures over here. So now from here we can see that Inez has picked 5 flowers because that's how many pictures are showing us that. Now we need to do Paulo. We gotta transfer Paulo's information over. Paulo picked 4 flowers, so that means I'm gonna draw 4 ovals over here. And it's as easy as that. So for this one, it's giving us the tally chart of favorite sandwiches. We have cheese, ham, tuna, and turkey. We're going to take this information, this data, and make a picture graph with it. So up here it says, use the tally chart to complete the picture graph. Draw a smiley face for each child. And that gives us this information down here too. The key equals 1, or each smiley face stands for 1 child. So that's what we're going to do. Okay. So, how many people chose cheese, or how many kids chose cheese? 5 kids. So that means I'm going to draw 5 smiley faces over here for cheese. Same thing with ham. 2 kids chose ham, so I'm only going to draw 2 smiley faces. 4 kids chose tuna, so I'm going to draw 4 smiley faces for our picture graph. And our last one, turkey, that's the one I would have chose. There are 3 kids that chose turkey, so I'm going to draw 3 smiley faces. So there is our picture graph. We took this information and made a picture graph with it. It's both of these are giving us the same information. They're just different types of graphs or charts. We can get the same data from both of them. So our first question on here is, how many children chose tuna? Well, from both charts we can see 4 children chose tuna? How many more children chose cheese and ham? We know if there's how many more, we gotta subtract. So that means we gotta do 5 minus 2, which is 3. Or we're just gonna make one more picture graph and then we're gonna be all done with this lesson. So this last picture graph is showing us favorite fruits. What are favorite fruits among the children? We have apple, plum, banana, or orange. So again, we're going to take this information and we're going to move it over to the picture graph. So we can see 4 kids voted for apple. So I'm going to draw 4 smiley faces. Two kids chose plum. 5 kids chose banana. And 3 kids chose orange. So now we can answer the questions. How many children chose banana? We can count 4 kids chose banana. How many fewer children chose plum than banana? So that means we need to subtract 4 minus 2, which is pretty simple, is 2 fewer children. And our last question is, how many children chose a fruit that was not a plum? So to figure this out, we just got to add up all of the fruits that aren't plum. So apple isn't plum, banana isn't plum, and orange isn't plum. So we're not going to look at plum, we're just going to look at every fruit except plum. So there's 4 apples plus 4 bananas plus 3 oranges. 4 and 4 is a double, and that equals 8, and 8 plus 3 is 11. So that means 11 kids did not choose plums. All right, guys, so now you can go do your 10.2/10.3 PMT on your HMH player.